Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Wide Right Natty Lite betting show, which is eventually going to get a name change. I don't know when, but it's going to get one. Maybe at the end of the season. This is for people watching, this is going to be the second last episode of our season. When college basketball gets over and the NFL's over, the NBA is starting to wind into the playoffs or whatever, we'll be taking a break off for the summer. We'll come back in August, but we've got one more episode next week for March Madness. So
it's a real shame that they're not going to let us bet on college baseball.
The good news, the good news is that, and we'll go over it later too, Matthias is finally above water on his for money on the season for his bets. He can now escape the loan sharks.
Shout out to the St. Louis Battlehawk Cyclones for carrying me last week.
The St. Louis Battle Clones. Yeah.
Yep, Battle Clones.
All right. Well, I'm your host, Levi Stevenson, joined by Matthias Schwarzkopf and Jacob England. Austin Keeney is out for this week. Let's get right into it. This is going to be talking a lot about the NCAA tournament. We've got enough going on with that. It's one of the biggest betting weekends of the entire year. Maybe the single biggest betting weekend of the entire year. Outside of maybe the Super Bowl. I don't know. That'd be a good trivia question, I guess. But let's look into it. Let's go bracket. Let's go let's each take a game from each region of the bracket and just keep ones that you've got your eye on. Let's go from there. So Matthias, we'll start with that. Let's start with
you. Can I start anywhere?
You can start anywhere you want.
Well, one that I have on top of my head right now, and I am picking them to beat St. Mary's, is VCU. I'm going to take them on the money line plus 138.
Plus 138 on the money line for VCU. Is that a 12-5? Yeah, 12-5 upset.
Yeah, so like they're patented 12-5 upset. And I just think it's because, the WCC, which is what them and Gonzaga are in.
Yep.
Gonzaga, you can kind of judge it based on what Gonzaga is for the year, right? So if Gonzaga is really good and St. Mary's keeps up with them, St.
Mary's is good. Yeah.
Yeah. So Gonzaga was, rough patches a little bit this year in terms of Gonzaga terms. So Gonzaga actually obliterated them in the conference final tournament. And VCU gets out there and pressures people. And they're, it's a typical VCU team, that the ones that make the NCAA tournament, kind of like a Shaka Smart VCU type team, to get out and pressure, play really good defense. And St. Mary's is, so in that regard. So on everything really. So got guys that could shoot though, but you got to have a 12-5 upset somewhere.
Right. Yep. That's true. You always got to have one. Cause I don't know how many years in a row it is, but it's a lot where there's a 12-5 upset every year.
Yep.
Jacob, who are you going with?
I am going to the West, and I'm actually going to pick Arkansas and Illinois. And I'm going to actually pick Arkansas to win it. Because
on the money line?
The money line is 143.5. I think I'm going to go over on that.
For the over under. Okay.
Yeah, for the over under, and I'm going to take Arkansas to take it. It's 1.5 for them. So I'm actually going to have Arkansas to cover. I just going through their statistics. Both of them are good at block shots. Both of them are good at rebounding. Well, Illinois is better, but here's what the biggest difference maker I can see out of it is Arkansas is just plain amazing at field goal percentages. Their field goal percentage is top 30 in the nation at 47%, while Illinois is at 45%. So even though, Illinois is a great rebounding team, if Arkansas is making so many shots, they're not going to get rebounds. So I just feel like Arkansas will run the court, and Big Ten sucks. So
worth noting here is that both teams are tremendously bad 3-point shooters and free throw shooters.
Yeah.
We have a... sorry to interrupt here, but we have a little bit of breaking news here in terms of Iowa State news.
What's that?
David Montgomery has signed with the Detroit Lions.
Oh. Really?
I am sick.
Oh, gosh. Oof. That's
I'm in shambles.
That's unpleasant for the Bears Iowa State fans in the room.
Well, that does it here today.
Oh, that's horrible.
That's like ending season type of material.
Oh my God!
I don't know. Like, at least it's not like Green Bay, but like I'm still like I mean, Detroit's
still
always had the history of being Detroit. So
yeah, it's still Detroit in the NFC North. I mean, it's just all bad. Whew.
I'll never recover from this.
This is terrible. Anyways, I'm going to, Matthias, I'm actually going to see your 12-5 upset and raise you a 13-4 in my Cinderella pick of the bracket, which is Furman beating Virginia. And then I have them actually beating San Diego State in the second round. But I'm going to take Furman on the money line against Virginia. They are at, I just saw them, they're at plus 188. So you get really good money back. I like that matchup there. Virginia is not a great team. They're okay. They're not great. Furman, however, scores an unbelievable amount of points. They shoot. I mean, they're 18th in the country in field goal percentage at 40, just over 48%. They shoot the ball pretty well. Virginia and Furman are both about 35% 3-point shooters. Furman is a very good free throw shooting team, which is notable. That's almost 75%. They're a good free throw shooting team. They're really efficient from the floor. They score a ton. This seems like a game where someone can get hot and Virginia's going to go down. Furman's got a really good high end scorer there, Mike Bothwell, 18 points a game, plays a bunch of minutes for them too. I like Furman to take down UVA in the first round, and then take down San Diego State in the second round. If you could get odds on a parlay, like a long odds on a parlay for Furman to go to the Sweet 16 there, I'd be tempted to throw like $5 or $10 on it because I really like Furman coming out of that spot in the South. Matthias, your next pick.
I can't focus.
He's just frazzled completely by David Montgomery going to the Lions.
Oh my gosh. You know, screw it. I'm pissed now. We're going straight up. We're going right to the
Find whatever school is located most near to Detroit and pick against them.
No, I'm going straight napalm right now. We're going Midwest region, Iowa, Auburn. Auburn rolls. Let's go.
That's a good.
All right, so
Auburn covers -2 and then some.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Like, so there's a good example there of where you take the spread instead of the money line. The money line for Auburn is at -132. Spread at -2 points is -107. Way better value for your money there. And if someone's gonna beat someone in a basketball game, the odds of it being by at least 2 is pretty much guaranteed. So Jacob, what's your next pick?
I'm actually going to go just one under with Drake in Miami. I think that's an intriguing matchup to say itself. I think actually Drake's going to get the upset. The over-under line is 146. I'm actually going to pick the under on that. I really don't think that it's going to get that wild. But Miami, 2.5. I'm going to actually pick Drake to win it. So they're going to cover.
Very good.
I just think that Drake is going to have enough juice in the tank to beat Miami. I don't know if they're going to go past that, but Drake has been good last few years. So I just feel like that they're in for a win.
All right. Here's one that I was really interested in looking at. I'm not taking them to win, but I do like Kennesaw State to cover 11 points against Xavier. Kennesaw State's not like necessarily a remarkable team. However, this is the first NCAA tournament berth for Kennesaw State in their entire history. That's a lot of momentum going forward. They shoot really well from the field, actually. Not as good. I mean, Xavier shoots extremely well, but Kennesaw shoots well enough from the 3-point line to stay in it. And they also shoot well enough from the field, just in general, to kind of keep themselves in it where someone can get hot and go for it. I like Kennesaw State. I still think Xavier's going to win this. However, I think Kennesaw State, just on the momentum of it being their first NCAA tournament, I think they can cover 11 points and keep it close. And you can get, let's see, what was your odds on that? Odds on that for Kennesaw State was -108 to cover 11 points. So, I'm good with that there. Matthias, let's do one more. Matthias, what you got?
Give me Oral Roberts to cover the 6.5.
I was looking at Oral Roberts myself.
That's my other 5-12 upset.
I don't have
Duke has won 9.
You're taking them over Duke? Oh,
yes.
Interesting.
Duke has won 9 in a row. Oral Roberts is a little bit trendy guy.
Do you have the guts to take Oral Roberts on the money line at plus 220?
I'll sprinkle $2 on it. Risky.
$2. Wow.
Hey, I'll take the plus 220.
Maybe we should just rename this thing the High Rollers Gambling Show.
Okay, fine. Here, let's just throw $10 on it. Right? plus 220 and to cover.
Fair enough. You want that on a
same game parlay, baby.
Yeah, same game parlay. Let's see what they got. Oh, you can't.
I'm doing both at $10.
There you go. Let's see. Do they have any fun parlays? Not really. Game combos. Let's see here. Are you confident enough in the over under to play on that somewhere?
Nope.
You take Oral Roberts and under 147 at plus 525.
That's going over, baby.
Okay. So yeah, Oral Roberts and over 147 is plus 510. So maybe some value there. Jacob, what's your last pick?
My last pick is actually Michigan State versus USC. I think that's going to be an intriguing matchup. Their over under is 137.5. I'm going to push the over on that. I mean, those guys love to score points. I know on some of their games they're like a little bit under, but for the majority of their games, they're scoring in the mid 80s. Some high 70 to mid 80s. So I can't see it being under 137.5. I just think that, especially with Michigan State being a 3-point shooting machine at, ranked number 3rd in the nation, I just think that they're going to start hawking it like crazy. So
yep.
Get me over on Michigan State and USC, and I'm actually going to pick Michigan State to take this. And that's
love it.
1.5. So
love it. There is actually a future on Furman to make the Sweet 16 plus 900. Ooh, I'm putting money down on that. I like plus 900 for Furman to get to be that Cinderella there. I was just looking to see if there was any kind of fun, any Sweet 16 futures that are worth looking at here. I'm pulling up my bracket here just for a good value pick as far as a Sweet 16. Let's see. I mean, besides Furman, obviously. Let's go with, what does TCU to the Sweet 16 look like out of the Midwest? Or sorry, not the Midwest. It'd be the West. So out of the West region, Sweet 16, TCU is at plus 225 to reach Sweet 16. I'll take that. I'll take plus TCU at TCU at plus 225 to reach the Sweet 16. There, they've got a fairly good path, I think. They'll have to beat Gonzaga, but I think Gonzaga is probably a little.
I got TCU beating Gonzaga, baby.
I think they're a little shaky. TCU can get like unbelievably hot, which is, what's funny though is Gonzaga plays Grand Canyon in the first round, which is the school that like is probably like did or is probably gonna get sued for basically ripping off TCU's logo. So like they're gonna play GCU that basically has TCU's logo, and then they're gonna actually play TCU.
The knockoff to the real.
Right. So TCU has tons of shooters. They're capable of really going off and getting hot, especially Mike Miles. He can do a lot of damage. I know they're without Eddie Lampkin now, but they played well in the Big 12 tournament. I think they're perfectly capable of getting hot for a couple rounds. Give me a TCU future to make the Sweet 16 at plus 225. I like that pick there. All right. I think we're gonna. Do you guys? Let's do a first weekend. Who do you got in your Final Four? And then we'll check back in after this weekend and see how we're still doing.
Who do we have in our Final Four?
So I've got in my Final Four, I've got Alabama, Texas, Kansas, and Marquette. Jacob, who do you got?
Can I take a skip and then come back to you?
The hell? All right, yeah.
Sorry.
Matthias. Who's your final four?
Alabama, Marquette, Texas, and Kansas. I'm willing to change it up because, I don't want to put Texas in there, but I feel like
I don't want to put Texas in there, but the problem is
team-wise, and
if Houston loses before the Elite Eight, to me, the Iowa State-Texas winner is who's going to the Final Four out of that region.
Yeah, I mean, Houston's really the outlier, right? I mean, can Houston get through the first weekend without their best player being healthy? I mean, is he going to play? Can
they beat Auburn without their best player?
Yeah, I mean, or even Iowa for that matter. It pains you to say that too, because if Iowa gets hot and is shooting the three like they can, worst. I mean, they might finally see a Sweet 16 in our.
Who knows? Yeah,
in the last 20.
If Houston does not have their best player, Iowa could just sneak by and have the most asterisk Sweet 16 of all time.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of factors rolling into this Sweet 16 or Final Four, especially for Kansas too. If Kevin McCullar's not healthy, his back and back spasms will linger forever. So
I
don't know.
Jacob, who's your Final Four?
I'm going to pick everyone except I'm actually going to take Marquette out, and I'm actually going to put Kansas State in.
You have Kansas State making the Final Four?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think that they have enough presence, and I've seen them play, and if they can get hot, I think that they can make it to the Final Four.
Fair enough, but I also refuse to root for Kansas State in any sense of it.
I don't either.
In any situation.
But like I will say this, Big 12, I think any two teams will make it. I don't know which one it's going to be, but I think any of the top 5, top 6 of.
I mean, frankly, if you told me like that the Sweet 16 or that the Final Four was going to be Baylor, Kansas State, Kansas, and Iowa State, I would believe you.
Yeah.
Or Texas. I mean, you could tell me like a Texas, Baylor, Kansas State, Kansas final is not even remotely out of the possibility.
Yeah,
I mean, Kansas State has about as easy a path to the Final Four as anybody that's not Kansas.
Yeah,
I mean, they've got Kentucky, Kentucky is not that great. They're okay. Marquette I think they're good. I mean, I have Marquette in my Final Four, but they're beatable. Tennessee is beatable. Purdue, I think Purdue is probably one of the most overrated 1 seeds I've ever seen.
I just see Kansas State. I see the path right there. I think it's actually an easier path than what even Iowa State has to the Final Four.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't call Iowa State's path to the Final Four particularly easy.
No, but it's not hard. I mean, it's not. I
mean, it's not hard to get to the Sweet 16, I don't think, but getting past Texas is a monster.
That's what I'm saying.
Texas is really good.
Yeah, I think Texas is like our biggest problem.
Agreed. Yep. Agreed.
But then where's Kansas State? I mean, Marquette. I think Marquette's beatable, so I think Kansas State can make it if they're thinking the right way. I don't know.
For sure. Yep.
In terms of Iowa State, let's look really quick on an update because Mississippi State is shooting currently 80% from deep right now. They're up 14-10.
Fun. Oh boy, that's going to be one of those where Mississippi State, who's a horrible shooting team, is just going to come in and just start raining threes. Well, it is what it is. So
Pittsburgh's at 100% right now for threes. 3 for 3.
There you go. You idiot.
Yeah, what the hell? Come on now.
All right. Well, this will wrap it up for this week. For Matthias Schwarzkopf, Jacob England, I'm Levi Stevenson. Everybody have fun with March Madness. Good luck, and we'll see you guys for next week's season finale. Go Cyclones. Yeah, I'm going to throw that in there just because I can't.
Hell yeah.